Being homeless is easy. Before I came to Mexico, I spent 6 weeks living in my electric car. And to my surprise, it was super easy. I actually miss it. Right now, I'm staying at a bed and breakfast, having one meal a day made for me, and I miss the car. I had more fun and it was more enjoyable spending that week, not that week, 6 weeks living in my car. I traveled 5 states, I settled in Long Island, and it was easy. The only reason I stopped was it was getting cold, it was after Labor Day, and it was just, I didn't do it forever, I just did it to test myself. And it wasn't bad at all. Like, the most difficult part of living in your car was losing your dignity. I was trying not to let people see me living in my car. That was the hardest possible part of living in my car. What makes homeless being hard is trying to do it fucked up. If I'd been hungover every morning, yeah, it would have been hard. I probably wouldn't have made it to the campgrounds and the marinas to take a shower before they opened. And then I would have been dirty and taken sponge baths, but no, my hygiene was perfect. I was still shaving and taking showers every day, and I liked it. I wouldn't tell anybody I lived in my car. I'd hang at resorts. I was in Montauk, I was in the Hamptons, I'd stay in Amagansett, I would stay in East Hampton, I'd stay in West Hampton. I was staying in nice places. No one thought I was living in my car. They thought I was just vacationing in the Hamptons. And it was fine. Like, right now I'm in Mexico and it's boring. I'm in a country where people speak Spanish and I don't speak Spanish. And that's not enjoyable. I can order ceviche con pescado y camarón y agua por favor. Yeah, I get like the same thing for lunch every day. Or I get guacamole, but that's it. I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. I'm not exploring. There's no risk. All you people think, is it safe there? Is it safe there? It's beyond safe here. Like, you're more likely to have shit happen to you in the Hamptons than here. Like, everyone here is just working and drinking soda and drinking beer. Like, that's all they do, and I don't do that. So I'm bored out of my fucking mind here. Getting back to living in your car, it's not hard at all. If you're sober, if you're responsible, if you've got just a little bit of money and like some savings to fall back on in case something happens, do it. If you're living in LA and you're sick of paying $1,000 just for your share of the rent in a 3-bedroom apartment and you don't even have a parking space, go live in your car. Go find places that you can stay in your car like I did. I had an electric car. I could stay at charging stations. Nobody ever kicked me out of a charging station. Nobody ever knocked on my window and said, "What are you doing here?" I got kicked out of one place because in Vermont, the worst fucking place to be for COVID. Talk about pussy-ass state. I was just charging my car in the middle of the day because I didn't make it to my preferred destination, so I had to stop at the spot. And some security guard at a college in Vermont told me to leave, but once he realized I wasn't a bad person, he didn't stop talking. He wanted to know all about my electric car and how many miles ago, and if I was paying to charge right now. And most of the time, no, I wasn't paying to charge. The only time I was paying to charge was in the Hamptons, was in Amagansett. And when I was in Amagansett, I was paying $1 for 15 miles of battery life, which is below average, but still doable. It's still like paying $2 a gallon for gas in a Honda Accord. So I miss that right now. I'm on this beach and people think like, oh, it's great, it's great. No, it's not. The strip clubs are closed. I can't get 2 for $11 lap dances. Like, that's what I would like to be doing in Mexico right now. No, I'm sitting on this beach with all this smelly ass seaweed that you can't see. And yeah, it's not great. You might see all these other YouTubers on there saying, yeah, look at all this cheap food and it's so wonderful, the food is so great. Like, who cares about the fucking food? I haven't had a single taco in Mexico. Like, I don't give a shit about the food. I've had ceviche for lunch 3 days in a row. I have whatever they're serving at my bed and breakfast at night. Like, that's what I do every day. Like, this is boring. Living in my car was a challenge. In the beginning, it was a challenge. In the end, it was more of a, okay, I'm not learning anything anymore, so it's time to go back home and plan my next challenge. And what I found while I was living in my car was YouTube. I started watching YouTube videos and I found van life. And I saw a girl, Unstoppable Morgan, living in a Bronco, and she was having no problems doing it whatsoever. But she was drinking. I'm not drinking. I was smoking a ton of weed though. I'm not smoking any weed here because the weed is shit, and I didn't bring weed, and I should have brought fucking weed. They didn't search my bags. I could have totally brought weed here, which I absolutely regret doing. I bought weed twice and it was garbage. Forget it, I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about how easy it is to live in your car, and how anyone who's looking down on people in California living in your car, don't. Stop doing it. They're saving a bunch of money. If I go back to California, I'm gonna renew my executive membership at Equinox and stay in my car and travel around and stay at different charging stations. Maybe I'll be in Santa Barbara and I'll go to Equinox there. Maybe I'll go to San Diego and hang at Equinox there. But that would be so much better than being in Mexico right now and going to El Toro for lunch and having ceviche, and then going to Cabarela or whatever the fuck you say it for lunch. Like, that's what I do. When I was living in the car, it was like, okay, let's try to check out a new charging station. I went to pretty much every single charging station on Long Island. I could tell you where you can sleep, where it's free, where it's a fast charge for free, what Nissan dealers are blocking the charging station, which Nissan dealers will gladly move a car if it's blocking the charging station. The Long Island Welcome Center, 2 free charging stations. I never saw, actually one time I saw someone staying the other charging station. They've got like 6 spots for hybrid vehicles to park or electric, and you can park overnight, no problem. I could stay there every night. I saw a guy in the handicap spot every night. I saw a guy in a Crown Vic every single night. When I stayed in Amagansett, half the time somebody else was sleeping in their car there, and it kind of dawned on me that it costs a lot of money to stay out there, and these people are workers. They're working, and they don't feel like driving all the way back to Rockaway or wherever they live. So they just stay in their car and save a bunch of money and get paid some triple what they would if they were working in upstate New York. All right, so someone just pulled up on their little scooter thing and let them walk by because I'm not comfortable talking in front of people. All right, so don't look down on people living in their car. Like, I was that person. I would look at these people as just like down and out fucking shitbags. And when I first started living in my car, I absolutely felt like people were looking at me like a shitbag living in their car. And losing the feeling of losing your dignity was by far the hardest part of living in my car. I started staying at campsites. I did wilderness camping on Fire Island for 5 days, and then I actually went back and did another 5 days because I wanted to have the experience and perfect it. And yeah, the second time I went, I knew what gear to bring. I didn't overpack. I knew the exact spot to stay. I knew everything. It was easy. The worst part, horse flies, mosquitoes, naked guy making art on the beach. Like, that was it. That was the worst part about it. Guy's back. Dumped his fish or something. But he probably doesn't speak English, and he probably doesn't care. He's just a working guy. But yeah, try living in your car, especially if you have an electric car. Feel free to stay at any electric charging station. If you have a Tesla, it's beyond easy. You can stay at every single one of the charging stations. The Tesla, what is it called? All right, I don't have notes. If I had notes, they would be right here, and I would not be slipping up on this stuff. And I'm also not going to edit this video. I have no clue how to edit videos, and I have no interest. Monetize me and I'll edit videos. Till then, no. I'm going to just make this video a few times. Like, before I made this video, I was walking, and it was like too windy. And then I went in front of a wall, and the wall was ugly. There wasn't a good scenery. So now I got some shitty boat behind me, some nice people just watching the fucking ocean. And yeah, live in your car. It's a good test. You'll appreciate saving money. Saving money and gaining perspective on people who do live in their cars. Because I eventually saw people in Teslas, in Lexuses, in Suburbans. There's a bunch of people living in their car just to save money, and they're smart, especially in this time. I don't even want to think about paying LA rents right now. I used to pay $2,400 a month for a one-bedroom in West Hollywood, and I was never there. I was either at the bar, or I was at the gym, or I was walking around. I was never in my room, never there. I didn't even have cable. I would watch every basketball game at Sonny McLean's or Barney's Beanery. Like, spending $2,400 on rent is stupid. I don't even want to spend $800 a month on rent. When I go back there, I would probably budget myself a allotted amount of money to spend on housing, like if I were to go anywhere. But if I go back to LA, you can be sure I will be staying in my car, in charging stations, and I won't just stay in West Hollywood like I did before. I will spend a few days in Santa Monica. I will spend a few days in Santa Barbara. I will go to, fuck San Diego. I won't go to San Diego. San Diego is the most unremarkable place I've ever been. Orange County is nicer than San Diego. And Orange County is this orange curtain of fucking just bullshit people who think they're remarkable because they are the beneficiaries of inflation. All right. I'm going to end it there because I'm way off topic. But yeah, trust and believe. Being homeless is easy. Adios.